I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman track storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter. never get out of my hometown. Or be the one who stops an attack.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome into Behind the Helm. If you want to watch this show live, tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Make sure to leave a comment down below, and we'll respond live. As always, find it, like it, share it, follow it. But if you want to watch the show after the fact, head on over to YouTube or on Facebook, where the shows are cataloged, and you can see all the comments and notes and still watch the show and any bonus content. If you just want to listen to the show, head on over to Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible, wherever you can find a podcast, and just search up Behind the Helm. Enjoy the show. Episode 76. That's right, 76. We made it over the 75 mark, almost to 100. And we are just getting more and more viewers, more and more followers. I appreciate that. Make sure you're smashing that like button, sharing this feed, throwing your comments down there, and things are rolling. So if this is your first time here, welcome in. Good to see you. Even if you're listening later, or you're listening to the podcast, or you're just watching the video later, it's okay. Still glad you're here. If this is your 76th time here, hey, keep it rolling. Thank you so very much for being that 76th time visitor. So there's one right there. Apparently I am following. But yeah, absolutely. Episode 76. You're here with Behind the Helm. My name is Chief Dowden, and we are the #1 military podcast in all of Indiana. Absolutely. The #1 military podcast in all of Indiana. Are we the only one? I don't know. Maybe. Doesn't matter. We're #1. So what are we doing today? What are we going to be talking about? Well, if you've been following or listening, if you watched last week, I had a guest on, retired Senior Chief E.T., who also does a podcast with his wife, who is not retired, who is a chief in the Navy, called E14. That's ETAC 14, E14 Podcast. It's the Sailor's Voice, where they talk about anything too. They do a lot of stuff with people in different military branches, but it's more kind of based more for people who are in, where ours is just information for everybody. They are a great show. Check them out. They're on, Apple Podcasts and Audible and Spotify, and they put out some great information. And he was on. We talked about some stuff. We talked about podcasting. He talked about retirement and mill-to-mill marriage, as well as himself. And then our bonus content was super cool. We played a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and we made a donation to charity to the Till Valhalla Project, so make sure to check that out as well. But go check out their podcast. Maybe give it a listen and a follow if you run out of our episodes to listen to. Great couple, great podcasters. So they're also on YouTube. It comes out a little later. They do video. They record and then post-edit where we're live. So the best way to interact here on Behind the Helm is live. So make sure you throw in those comments. I see Levesque is there. You're peep that golf swing. Put it on the stream. You want me to put your golf swing on the stream? I can. I think you sent it. I think you sent it to me on. You'd have to send it to my personal, I believe, for me to pull it up, but I can do that. Petty Officer Levesque is on there. He's out there in San Diego. We've talked recently, and he got himself a new driver, and we were talking about it. And he asked me, he goes, when are you gonna go back out golf again? I said, when it warms up. Oh yeah, been gone since October. He already forgot it's cold here. So absolutely smash that like button. Make sure you follow this feed. Share this feed, whether you're watching on YouTube. Big news with the podcasting as far as the audio versions, right? I finally got that fixed. So I've talked to a few people. They said they noticed it. It's a little out of order too. Heath, thank you, Heath. Another shout out to Heath Britt from ETAC 14, E14 podcast. He kind of helped me out with that, and I'm able to get the audio edited, and they are rapidly going up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, wherever you can find those. They are up. I am up to, I think, episode 52, so I'm not too far behind, slowly catching up. I will say, obviously, when you listen to it on the audio versions, a lot of the bonus content is not there, and some other things get cut out, and I edit it to the best of my ability if things go down. But the bonus content isn't there. You still got to see that on the video. And on top of that, understand that, some of it, when there's audio errors and stuff, that there's not too much I can do to fix it. And there are a few episodes you will notice, like it goes from, I think, 50 to 51. Or 49 to 51, or 50 to 52. There was an episode that we did with Veronica Scott, NC1 Scott, and we had major internet issues, and it wasn't salvageable, so I don't even have, it will not be up on Audible. So when I first did it, I had posted just the most recent one, and so it goes like 38, 76, 39, 40. But now I'm doing them in order and hope to be caught up to where you will see the live show on Thursday, and then hopefully by Friday afternoon, then the actual audio version of the podcast will go up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you can find a podcast. I'm getting caught up. So for those of you who are more of the audio podcast listener, thank you. Make sure that you subscribe over there, to hit the bells, do whatever you need to do to help others find that information. And hopefully you're enjoying that. So what are we talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about, if you look at the title today, it's Express Yourself. And we're going to talk about some magic. If you go and listen to the episode that I was on E14, they wanted to talk to me kind of about my service and also about magic that I do. And I thought, myself, Petty Officer Levesque, had talked about it before. I had brought in a deck of cards for the Eagle and said that we would talk about it one day, and we just never got around to it. Well, since I just talked about it on E14, I figured I would dive a little deeper into that, but not just about my magic. I want to talk about what it looks like to be yourself in the military, what it looks like to be yourself in the Navy. There are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to joining the military. They become a robot, that you're, just this meathead, that, you don't think for yourself anymore. And I want to kind of get into that. But before we do have an homage to the Eagle. And I was trying to think of my magic stuff, and I already brought a deck of cards, so I brought something a little bit more personal, and it's just kind of interesting. This, I believe I had said on the show, I had wrecked my truck. I swerved to miss somebody. I had to take it down into a ditch, and somehow I went in between two poles and took out one of the cable boxes, and this is a piece of that. It's like molded metal, and this was stuck in the hood of my truck. I wasn't injured. No glass broke. Airbags didn't deploy, but this actually came out of my truck. And basically, if you're watching this and you live in Lapel, I pretty much knocked out all of internet for Lapel for probably a good couple days. So sorry. But yeah, I kept this because I was like, wow, that was lucky. It wasn't so much magical as it was luck. So I figured I would leave that just a good story to tell, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Before we do, again, smash that like button, share this feed, hit the notification bells, do whatever it takes to help the algorithms pull us up. Watch longer than 1 minute. Do that. That'd be great. All right. So in recruiting, I think I've been in an interesting position to see where people talk about, like, well, I don't want to become a robot. I don't want to, lose my identity. And I want to talk specifically about that today, and how that's completely false. It is a misconception. Do people change when they join the military? Yes, it happens. Not everyone, though. It really just depends on the person. You are still you. I'm still Brad Dowden. Am I different? Have I matured or changed because of the military? Sure, that does happen, but you don't lose who you are, okay? I think a lot of times we see it in movies and on TV shows and stuff, and especially like, we talk a lot about like Christmas time movies, especially like the Hallmark movies, when you see somebody who's in the Marines or the Navy and they come home on their Christmas leave and they're just in their dress military uniform every time they're on scene or on screen. And if they're not, they're just like in like military, like PT gear, like that's all they wear all the time. Or, and when they're eating, they're sitting with their back straight. They're just eating super fast. And, when they're turning corners, they're turning at right angles, and they're only talking in military terminology. And this is Hollywood. Like, this is not at all what it's like. When you're on leave, you're on leave. You don't have to wear your uniform. Like, you are on leave. You are on, quote, vacation. When I leave the office at night, I go home, like, I am just in regular clothes. It's a lifestyle, and some people take it, to that extreme. You can, but it's not required. You don't get brainwashed like that. And not only that, but in the Navy, I think that we take a lot of pride in recognizing our sailors for what they do outside of just Navy. Who they are as a person. And I've been on the receiving end of that, and we're going to kind of show that and talk about that a little bit more in depth. But before we do that, I want to actually show you guys a video. I do not own the rights to this song. It is the song Express Yourself. This is off of YouTube. It is the United States Navy Band performing it, one of the bands performing it, but it also has some stuff in there from other sailors. This was originally posted 2 years ago. It was posted for the Navy's birthday. However, I think it's really cool because it shows some different sailors and where they're from, and get you a little music and a little enjoyment here. So plus you can watch it if you're just listening on Spotify and stuff. Hey, you get to listen to it. But this is the Navy band performing this with sailors from around everywhere, introducing themselves and saying happy birthday to the Navy. Again, this is from 2 years ago. So let's go ahead and switch over. Check this out. And here you go.
Hi, my name is Y1 Felicia Forrest from Chicago, Illinois, stationed at CNRFC. I'd like to say happy birthday to the Navy. Go Navy!
Express yourself. Express yourself. You don't ever need help from anybody else. All you got to do now, express yourself.
I'm Y1 Lorena Santans from Hillsgrove, Pennsylvania, currently working for Navy Personnel Command. And I just wanted to say happy birthday, Navy.
Hello, BUCA Bassell, trained to be a CV at NCTC Gulfport, Mississippi. Just like to say happy birthday to Navy. Hoorah, Navy!
I'm Y3 Pridgeon from Spring Hill, North Carolina, stationed with Task Force 75 in Guam. Just want to say happy birthday, Navy. Easy day.
Whatever you do, do it good. Hey! All right. Whatever you do loud. Do it good. All right. It's not what you look like when you're doing what you're doing. It's what you're doing when you do it. What you look like you're doing. Just express yourself. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, do it. Express yourself. All right now.
Good morning, I'm Y3 Williams. I'm from Manhattan, New York. I'm currently stationed at NAF Massawa, and I'm here to wish the Navy a 245th birthday. Go Navy!
Hi, I'm musician second class Jeff Schusner from Rapid City, South Dakota, serving at Fleet Forces Band. I'd like to say happy birthday to the Navy. Go Navy!
Hey, I'm Mason Sue Jones, originally from Detroit, Michigan, stationed here at the Bahrain Clinic. Wanting to wish the Navy a very happy birthday.
Hello, I'm BUCR Ketzner Stump. I'm from McMinnville, Oregon. I'm here to be a CB. Hoorah! Happy birthday, Navy.
Hello, hi, this is Lieutenant Commander Yuka Hobin from WTP Sembach here in Germany. I am from Honolulu, Hawaii. I just want to say happy birthday to the Navy and go Navy!
They're doing it on the moon, y'all. And the jungle too. Everybody on the floor, now, y'all. Jump like a kangaroo. So let the horns do the thing they do now. Come on.
This is Commander Brandon Rapp of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm the OIC of the Warrior Transition Program in beautiful Sembach, Germany. I want to say happy birthday, Navy. 245 years, and you've never looked so good.
Some people have everything, and other people don't. Everything don't mean a thing if it ain't the thing you want. Express yourself. Yeah, come on. Express yourself. Come on, oh, do it. Come on, do it. Oh, do it. Oh, do it now. Do it to it. Do it to it. You do it. Just do it. Y'all do it. Y'all do it. We'll do it. We're gonna do it. Express yourself. Express yourself. That's right. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 anybody out there gonna do it? All right now, hey, everybody out there gonna do it. Just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, baby. Shimmy, do it, do it, baby. Do it, baby.
Hi, I'm IT2 Straseski from Ice Cold, Wisconsin, serving here today at beautiful sunny Nicktam's Path, here to say happy 245th birthday to the Navy. Go Navy!
Hey, I'm Lieutenant Moline.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Moline.
We're stationed at Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Texas.
We want to wish the Navy a happy 245th birthday.
Booyah!
From Naval Hospital Yokosuka, MSC, wishing you a happy 245th Navy birthday. Go Navy! Booyah!
From the Chief Mess here at Naval Medical Readiness and Training Command Yokosuka, we would like to wish you a happy 245th birthday. Navy Chief!
Navy Prime!
Navy Prime!
Good dog! We're gonna have a good time. Express yourself. 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 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4,
Well.
express.
I just want to say like that'll get you going, right? And I know it's a little longer and it was for the Navy's birthday. So some of you might be saying like, is it Navy's birthday? Like, no, I just thought that this was a great video. And if you're just listening to it, you're not seeing it. Everything that you're hearing are naval musicians, the horn section, drums, keyboards, the two singers, and, they're dancing and having a good time. And that's not a robot. The Navy didn't teach them that. That is a talent that they have. I would definitely say that naval musician is one of those jobs that, you get an opportunity to hone a craft and a talent that you already have. And it's extremely competitive. It's extremely hard to get in. You have to audition. We've talked about it in the past, and obviously you can tell, these are amazing performers, and that is their job in the Navy. It's not very robotic, right? And just showing people from different walks of life and what they, where they're from and where they are now. I thought it was super cool. So, give you a little music from the Navy. Again, that is Express Yourself as a United States Navy band. I do not own the rights to that song. However, I'm in the Navy, so I feel like a YouTube video from the Navy band, pretty sure I can play that. All right, so, just to jump into that, express yourself, right? You get the opportunity to do that. Yes, we have a mission. Yes, there are things that we have to do. Yes, we are the military, so there are certain guidelines that we have to follow. But before I continue on, make sure you smash that like button. Comment down below. I see we have some viewers, no matter what platform you're on. The easiest way to interact is live. You can always interact later, but any questions or comments, if you were in the military, what was something that you did that was, you and you alone? I'd love to hear it. So whether it's on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, thank you for coming in. It's one of those things that we really kind of strive to see who and what we are. And when it comes down to it, you're just bettering yourself. And how you do that is up to you. So when you really think about it, no matter what job you have, there are going to be guidelines, right? I like to say that our job is very unique because it's one of the only jobs where you actually get to vote for your boss. We're allowed to have our own political views. We just don't speak about them in uniform, or we're not supposed to, or attach the Navy to it in any way. And, I know that might sound weird, but, we can vote and we can have our own political views, but think about it this way. Let's just use McDonald's for an example. If you're working at McDonald's and you're working behind the counter and you start talking trash to people about the general manager, what's going to happen? You're probably going to get fired, right? How is it any different? Plus, on top of that, you have to remember that the president in a whole is not making decisions on my day-to-day life. There are advisors for that do that, and in no way, when Trump was in office, I always make the joke, old Donnie T's not calling me up, and it's the same with Joe Biden. Joey B's not giving me a call hey, Chief, I need you to do this today. It's not how it is. But then when there are other things that come up about, the discipline and this and that, and it's a job. So let's use McDonald's as an example. Now we're talking food services. So there's a uniform. If you show up to work and you're not in your uniform, what's going to happen? You're not going to work that day. So how's it any different? No offense, our uniform's a little bit nicer than McDonald's, if I do say so myself. Okay, and I'm not picking on McDonald's. That was, one of my first jobs too. You got to start somewhere. I'm just giving you an opportunity to start somewhere a little better. And it's the same way with grooming standards, especially food services. You can't, a lot of places you can't have facial hair, and if you do, you have to wear a hairnet and all these things, and you can't have super long fingernails, and I guess the only different, some jobs you can't have your hair dyed weird colors. I guess you could, in some places, but there's still grooming standards and uniform standards at normal jobs. So these misconceptions just kind of blow my mind when it comes to well, that's why, right? I don't want to have to wear a uniform. You kidding me? This is great. Do I wear it for everything that I do? No, but have I gone to gatherings and stuff like that, in uniform? Yeah, absolutely. It honestly, it kind of pays off sometimes. So it's just something to think about, that we're not robots. You get to be yourself. I want to actually show you guys. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna reaction with my switch over. Oh, you're not supposed to see that yet. You can actually look up Faces of the Navy, or Faces of the Fleet. We've watched a few of these videos in the past. I'm not going to watch any of them. I just want to talk about it a little bit. Again, you just search Faces of the Fleet, and these are stories of actual sailors, and it more goes into, their life and where they come from, and, they got a big, kind of a wide range, tried to find sailors from different walks of life. There's a photographer, a chaplain, and what she does, pilots, doctors, and then, obviously other regular enlisted as well, and just kind of their background story, and they kind of made a video about it. And they're really cool. Like some of them I've watched, I'm like, man, this is really awesome. And it, kind of talks about them, like selfless. Like this video here is when this sailor must leave her family to ensure their future. Her strength is tested. Like we're still real people. There's a good one. Let's see if I can find like this one here. As a Navy Reserve sailor, okay, so we've talked about the reserves before. I think we're going to talk about that again coming up soon, get a little bit more in depth. But as a reserve sailor in America's Navy, he's also chasing his dream of becoming a NASCAR driver. You see he's in a race suit. So, and these are just episodes. Miss Congeniality, in remaining an individual, she exemplifies the strength in staying true to herself. This is about Lieutenant Kelly Hall, who was a Miss USA, Miss Ohio pageant contestant, and then joined the Navy and was in recruiting and did a lot with social media and stuff. And, you don't have to be an officer. You don't have to, be a pilot or whatever. Some of these are about reservists. Some of them are about, just everyday people and things that are interesting about them. Now, there's a lot more than just what's here, but, pretty cool videos. Take a look at it sometime. Again, just search Faces of the Fleet. Another cool way to hear about some people is to check out that E14 podcast I was talking about, ETAC14-14, E14 podcast, wherever you can find podcasts as well. I was on there just recently, and Heath was on our program last week, and they interview people, and you get to hear, they say that they're the sailor's voice, and they talk about like smoke pit topics, which is more just like just shooting the breeze, right? So you get to hear some different people in the military and about them and their experiences and how they're just normal people, so definitely check this out sometime. Faces of the Fleet, really good. I don't want to go too long because some of these are longer, but they're really, really cool. So make sure you check those out. But I wanted to talk about, I said I was going to talk about myself and some of the things that, I used to do, and it's going to come into some of the bonus content because since it's video, it wouldn't make sense to put it on the audio, but I just wanted to show this story. So talked about it on E14 podcast. When you are out, when you are part of the Navy and you're out to sea, there's what's called an MC or a mass communication specialist. They are there to document things that we do, for memories, for like we have like a yearbook. It's called a cruise book. We've pulled those up before, and to write stories about people to send back home. So like I was talking on E14 podcast, I started doing magic when I was, before I was in the Navy. My cousin did it. I thought it was awesome. I wanted to learn about it. And if you want to hear a little bit more about that, you can check out that episode. But needless to say, like I used to do it just for fun, just card magic. And I got into the Navy. I wasn't really doing it anymore. And I don't remember exactly what happened. Somebody had a deck of cards. I picked it up and I did this magic trick, and everybody was just like, oh man, that's cool. And then they wanted me to show this person and that person. And the next thing I know, it became a thing, and it was what I was known for. And, that definitely is in the Navy's mission, to perform that. And I had a good friend, Derek McBride, who wanted to start learning, and he was like, why haven't you recorded any of this? I just was never into any of it. And we were going on a deployment, and we were like, what if we set up a Facebook page and say that you're on a Mediterranean tour? Because when we pull into a port, then it's known that we're there, and you can say that you're there. You just can't say beforehand. So I had a Mediterranean tour, and then after we would pull into a port, I would post that, I was there doing magic, and it made it look like I was, just this world-traveling magician. So the mass communication specialist on board our ship for that deployment caught wind of it and wanted to write a story about me. Her name is Brianna Green, MC3. I believe she's advanced since then, but originally she wrote this story February 25th, 2017, and it got sent out. And when they do that, when they write a story about you, they send it back home to any, it's open to any news, newspapers or anything like that within 50 miles of where you're originally from. So I enlisted out of Kokomo, Indiana. So when our PAO or public affairs officer had sent it off, he would get things back if somebody picked it up. And I think one of the first, ones that picked it up, he came to me and he was like, hey, like, your home paper picked up. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, was it this paper or this paper, like Kokomo Tribune or the Pharaohs Tribune? And he's like, no, Middletown. And I'm like, where? Like, which is so funny because it's in my area now where I recruit out of. But at the time, I didn't know where Middletown was. Like, we had to look it up. I had no idea, but they had put it in like their little paper for their town, because I was a local person from Indiana. They picked it up. They thought it was a great story, and they ran with it. And it ended up in the Kokomo Tribune and the Pharaohs Tribune and on a lot of Navy websites. And it was just super cool, because even at that time, I didn't really know that we did that. So it was really neat. And if you just search International Man of Magic, Brad Dowden, you can find the story on DVids, which is the original story written, because when other newspapers would pick it up, sometimes they would change it. And this says, story by Petty Officer 3rd Class Brianna Green, Navy Public Affairs Support Element East. And, just like the first little blurb here, this is the moment of truth. This is the opportunity these sailors might have to briefly forget about the dangers of working in the U.S. 5th Fleet area of operations. It is the moment when reality turns into magic. A fire controlman 2nd Class, Bradley Dowden, flips the blue bicycle playing card, showing a king of diamonds. The crowd roars with disbelief. Dowden has come a long way from learning magic with his cousin to performing in several countries around the world. Magic is more than a hobby to him. It's an obsession. And there's, like I said, the story's longer. I was working with a Master Chief who was kind of learning, and he's interviewed in it, and it was really cool. And I'm just super thrilled to be a part of that and to be recognized for something that has nothing to do with my job, but something that I did for fun, quite honestly. And it gave me the opportunity to really do it in some of the most amazing places, things that, like, I would think that, even professional magicians would not be able to say that they've done. And, the Navy really gave me the opportunity to do that. They published a story about me and a lot of people heard about it. And I got to do things because of it, and, get invited to things and just to go do magic. And it's just one of those things that, like, we really do look at a sailor and say, hey, like, this is really unique about you. Can we, I don't want to say exploit, but like talk about it or show it to show the diversity that we have. You express yourself, and be that individual, right? This podcast, I can say that, yeah, I still do it, and I do love doing it. And it was a big way for myself and Petty Officer Levesque to express ourselves, and show a talent that we had, a way of getting things out there, and a lot of his talent, being able to do stuff on the fly and the technical, all the technical stuff. So, I think especially in recruiting, there's certain ways that you do things, but it gives us an opportunity to be ourselves and to show people that we're just normal people, and, it's an opportunity for you. So again, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit the bells, do wherever you're listening, watching this, do what you need to do. Make sure to check it out. Check out our friends over at E14 Podcast as well. And like I said, they have videos on YouTube if you want to watch their videos. And, I appreciate everybody who's here right now, and those of you who are going to listen later. Update on the actual audio podcasts on Spotify and stuff. I am catching up. You're going to see, if you have the notifications on there, I apologize over the next week or two, other than you're going to be getting notifications that there's new material as I'm catching up. I think I'm up to, like episode 52, and there's a few missing, and there's still going to be a few missing because they're just not able to be converted. But we're on episode 76. So I've figured it out. I got a pretty streamlined system to get them up. It's just getting them uploaded, and I'm going to get them all to you. So you might see a lot of notifications right now, but trust me, it's worth it. I'm getting the opportunity to go back and listen to some of our older episodes and remembering some of the stuff and like, wow, like this is, that was such great information, and, laughing at some of the things that we had done. And recently listened to the episode that we did last year for Women Appreciation with STG2 Slattery, which is where my coaster's from. She made it, and it's a really good episode. You should really go back and listen to that. Just some really great information. So most definitely. So again, you're not a robot. Be yourself. The whole moving at right angles and like always marching, like we're still people. Yes, some change, sometimes for the better. Some people never change. You're still yourself. Okay, the stuff that you see in movies and TV shows, this is not true. That's not how we are. Do I eat fast? Yeah, but I kind of always have. My wife gets on to me all the time about it. That we'll sit down to eat, and I'll be like done before she's even, so that's just personal though. Like, you really, really get the opportunity to be yourself. So again, the Navy band, those are people that have amazing talent. The Navy didn't teach that to them, and they get the opportunity to do that for a living and making Navy pay with military benefits and perform all over the world as well, as their job. Magic is not my job. If the Navy ever has a magician NEC, boy, I'd be the first one to apply, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, just understand that. The whole point of this episode was to be able to talk to you guys and really show like different people and what they do and things that they've done, and know that you can join and still be a unique person. I am going to share one video that even with the audio, it'll be okay, but the video is much better. So everybody knows I was on the USS Cole, and I'm not even in this video. I just really like it because also people get ideas, whether it's the mass communication specialist or even people on board the ship, for videos that, like, when we're on deployment, we'll make videos and fun things to have fun as a crew, but also to send home to, so our families can see it and, to have some fun with it. And I can tell you that you can search, pretty much any ship, any command, they will have a Facebook page where you can, look at their videos and stuff. And so what I did is I went back to the USS Cole Facebook page, and I pulled up a video that I think is really cool. Let me switch over here. So the video was done for Christmas time while we were on deployment, and in the bonus content, I'm going to show you another video that we did on that deployment that I think that you will really enjoy. You should check out. But this specific video is more of a Christmas time video.
All stations here. Check.
Was created and sent out. Now, I will tell you that some people may be salty and say like, "Oh, that's in combat and you can't do that." Like, trust me, anything that they send off the ship is vetted, and we had to turn off certain things. And I owned a lot of the equipment, and I had to like turn off certain things so that it was okay. But this kind of shows, kind of how combat works, but we did this for Christmas to send home for everybody. So check this out. And for those of you in the audio world, just listen. It's pretty cool.
All stations air, check print track 1225.
Strength 9, 8 small targets followed by 1 large target.
No modes, no codes.
Negative ES, track 1225.
TO air, track 1225. Strength 9, no ES, no modes and no codes. Hold inbound, evaluate as unknown.
Super team away, port side. Super team away, port side.
OD, we have off to the port side a red light, a tiny reindeer with a carriage.
OD, TAO, set, Santa quarters.
Bridge eye. Go, set Santa quarters.
Set, Santa quarters. Set, Santa quarters.
NORAD, this is USS Cole. We have positive radar track on Santa, and he is inbound to the U.S. coast. Over.
Merry Christmas!
So yeah, you can see like that was, you can hear it, and the very end is the captain at the time, and he had on a Santa hat, and you know, it was fun, something that we created to send home. You know, so people can see us out there just having a good time, and we do. You have a lot of fun on deployment, so you get an opportunity to do some fun stuff. So for bonus content today, I'm just letting you know I'm going to be showing some pretty cool magic tricks that I've done and kind of talk about where they were at. So if you're listening, you definitely want to hop over to YouTube or Facebook and watch the bonus content, because the audio's about to end now, and I appreciate you all listening. But without further ado, bonus content in 3, 2, 1. Bonus content. So absolutely, today we're talking about not being a robot. We're talking about expressing yourself and how you can be an individual in the Navy. And I was on E14 podcast, and I kind of, you know, I do magic now in recruiting sometimes for people, and some people at this command even know me as that, and it's fun. And when I get to talk about it, when somebody actually like asks me about it, it's something that I really enjoy talking about in like the time that I got to do it. And you know, the command there really got to gave me the opportunity to do some amazing things. Again, go over to E14 podcast and listen to the episode that I was on. I go into it a little bit more in depth, but I wanted to show you guys some of those videos. And before I do that, this one, I didn't want to have this one on the audio because it is 100% more visual. There's one other one, and I was in this video, but there's one other one from the USS Cole that we created to send home. It's a little bit longer, but it's the alphabet, and it's super cute, super fun. It was kind of more created to be funny and created for you know, kids back home to see it. And we put like a Navy term with each letter, and you know, it's got some fun music to it and just having fun. And I may or may not be in this one. So check this out. This is from the USS Cole. We did this while we were on deployment, and shout out to Brianna Green, because I remember talking to her about this, and the editing to put this all together was a very, very long process. So here it is. It's from the USS Cole when we were on deployment. Just another video really showing people getting to have some fun with their job. Check this out.
A is for anchor. B is for boat.
C is for clamp down. That's how we clean up the ship.
What is that?
D is for damage control. This is how we keep the ship afloat. Stamp!
E for engineering.
This is how we make the ship go.
F is for flight quarters.
G is for guns. We have 9 different types of guns on board, and I'm going to show you a few of my favorites.
H is for the Hall of Heroes. This is where we honor the 17 sailors who sacrificed their lives to save the ship on October 12, 2000.
I is for ice cream social. All right, got my strawberry, chocolate. All right, and vanilla. All right, gonna enjoy this. J is for Jack. This is how we communicate throughout the ship. Comms check.
I read you Lima Charlie. How do you read me? Over.
Roger, over. Wait, who's Roger? Roger here, over and out.
K is for Kilo. We use flags to let people know what we're doing on the ship. Kilo is for personnel working aloft, or in really high spaces. L is for Liberty. And that's a magical thing.
M is for methane. Voy a ir a la milk.
N is for navigation. It's how we get the ship around the world.
O is for Oscar. This is Oscar. Oscar's for man overboard.
Man overboard, man overboard, man overboard, port side. Man overboard, man overboard, man overboard, port side.
P is for preservation. This is how we make USS Cole shine.
Q is for qualification.
R is for radar. Radar means radio detection and ranging.
This is how we see all the airplanes that fly around us. S is for STAR, which stands for Search and Rescue Swimmers.
We're the ones that rescue people in the ocean.
So others may live.
T is for training.
You go back here and do it.
U is for uniform. We inspect our sailors to make sure they wear their uniforms in a professional manner and represent the Navy every day in the best fashion they possibly can.
V is for VBSS, which stands for Visit, Board, Search, and Seizure. And that's how we protect the world from piracy.
W is for watch. We protect the ship by identifying and tracking all surface, air, and subsurface contacts near us.
X is for XO, which stands for the executive officer.
Morning, XO. CTR-1 Shelton standing by to present berthing 3.
Very well.
Y stands for yaw. Yaw is when the waves outside actually change the direction that the ship's going in.
Z is for zebra. Zebra is what we set to keep the ship watertight during emergencies.
So like I said, you can see that's just a little fun that we had, like when we were on deployment, and you can imagine all the editing that went into that. So shout out to the MCs. There was, and the thing was, is it was one young lady that did that, putting that all together. I mean, just even my part, just changing, you know, that card and into, you know, that's a video trick. Obviously, everybody can tell that, but you know, even doing that was not simple. So, you know, shout out to her. I see you out there, Mr. Dillard. I need that magic trick to help me disappear this weight. Laugh out loud. I got you. I'll be seeing you Tuesday. I'm going to be in Mr. Dillard's classes, his STEM classes, to come and present. So if anybody out there is going to be in those classes, you're in for a treat. So moving on, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys a couple of my magic tricks from some different places around the world that I got to do, and we'll start with one right here in the US. I had the opportunity to, and I talked to Petty Officer Levesque about this because it was in Boston, him being from Massachusetts. I got the opportunity to go to Boston, and, being a baseball fan, I even went to Fenway. I'm not a Red Sox fan at all. I'm a White Sox fan, but it's Fenway. I actually have videos of me doing magic tricks in the grandstand at Fenway. But while we were there, we also went to the USS Constitution, and I have a video where I did a card trick on the quarterdeck or on the deck of the USS Constitution, and I will introduce the two that I'm with. They are actually two sailors that are in the Navy. I don't think people always realize that, but the guys and gals, that are working on the USS Constitution, that is still a commissioned naval vessel. So the people working there are actual sailors that are active duty. They are in the Navy. And I'm with two sailors, and I'm going to show them a magic trick. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this one, and then I have two other ones for you from two different areas in the world. So let's check this one out. Again, this is on, you can kind of definitely see they're in the old school uniforms, and you can kind of see the ship, but we are on the USS Constitution, right in the center of it. So here is this.
Now. All right, so we're here on the USS Constitution, and I am with DCFM Walter, and GM2 Rush. So, got a deck of cards here, guys, and who am I doing this to? Okay, yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, go.
What?
Okay, all right, I guess it's you. All right, so here's what we're going to do. All right, I just want you to pick these cards. Just one. Oh, for the top. All right, show it to the camera, don't show it to me.
You got it.
You got it?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and put
We lose the audio a little bit. I don't remember what happened, but
we'll go ahead and we'll cut it right down into the deck. Okay? Good? All right. So, go ahead and give this one more cut. I'm scared that the wind's like going to take all my cards away. That'd be horrible. All right. Now, do you know what ESP is? It's like extra system, right? Have you ever done any experiments with it? No. All right, so we need a card that's not your card. I'm assuming this is not your card, right? Nope. Not your card. Okay, so what I want you to do is make a fist like this, and then like lift your thumb up like this. I'm going to take that forward and put it right here. Hold on to that. Now I'm going to go through just like this, and whenever you feel it's right, I want you to slowly just put it in the deck, okay? It's nice and easy. Just feels right there. Okay, I want you to keep a hold of that. All right, now, so your card has to be the 2 of diamonds. Is that your card? No. Okay, so then it's the 7 of clubs, right? No? Okay, well, hold on. 3 of spades? No, wait. Stick with me here. What was your card? The king of clubs? There's no way it was the king of clubs. It was the king of clubs? Well, that's what's in your hand. Yep. This is Constitution with Arcanine. National treasure. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and you hear me say a few times when you're listening to these videos, you'll hear me say Arcanine. That is just a performing name that I used for Magic, and so that was the videos when we would do those. So this next one is a little different because it's not a card trick; it's a coin trick. I haven't watched this in a long time. It's shorter. Hopefully, I don't think the video quality was great on this, but this was in Rota, Spain. So this is in Spain. It's to a bartender. We're on base, actually. We're at the bowling alley, but he is local. He's from Spain. So go ahead and check this one out.
Hi, you're here in Rota, Spain with Arcanine. I'm here with my wonderful bartender. Your name is? Paco. And we're going to show him a little coin trick here. So, Paco, we have a glass here on the bar, all right? And what I want to show you is that I have an American 50-cent piece, which is great. And I have a Mexican centavo. It's a Mexican centavo there. Now, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to take both of these. We have a solid glass. Okay, and we're going to set them right here in the side of the glass, just like that. Now, I'm going to try to get that Mexican centavo to pass through the bottom of that glass. Impossible. Impossible, you say. He says it's impossible. And here we go. Now look, the Mexican centavo is here on the table. And if you look inside the glass, we have only the 50-cent piece, and I'm going to take the 50-cent piece out, just like this. Solid glass. The Mexican centavos here on the table, and there's the 50-cent piece.
It's good, yeah?
How you make it?
All right, thank you. You're here. I think I talked about it with when I was on E14 podcast too, and I think the funnest part of doing magic tricks actually is people's reactions, like getting to see, genuine joy and wonder, like when you do something and getting that reaction. But what I did talk about is that, anybody can learn a card trick. It is a performance. It's how you perform it, and you can't be a robot about it. You have to be very unique about how you do things. Otherwise it will fall flat. I can, almost anything I could do, I can teach to somebody else. But if they can't perform it a certain way, and I think it was tough, like overseas. I would show some videos like here where the person I'm doing it to speaks English. But when you go overseas, as Americans, we tend to think that everybody knows English, back World War champions. But in all honesty, a lot of times they don't. So I had to learn how to do things where it would still be just as amazing without the language, which is hard for me because of the type of magician that I am and the things that I do. I'm not a silent magician. Like it's a lot of my personality is how I present it and how I say things, and but it was really cool. And the last video I'm going to show you is probably my favorite. This is a video you can kind of see, and we'll introduce where it is, but while we were on deployment, we got the opportunity to go up into the Black Sea. We were one of the first ships to go up there in a long time. And we pulled into Romania in the fall. We ended up pulling in again later in the winter. But in the fall, Romania is very beautiful. And we got the opportunity to take a tour of Dracula's castle, which is actually Bran Castle. And, you can look up the history on it. Vlad the Impaler actually never owned it. And I didn't learn that until I was there from this gentleman who was our tour guide. It was super cool. If I remember correctly, it was free. The tour was free. Like it was like a 6-hour bus ride though. So we had a charter bus, and like we didn't, each sailor didn't have to pay for that. We went there, we stopped for lunch. Then we got there, we did the tour, and then afterwards we went to this restaurant for this dinner and like their local brandy, and they had like a bonfire, and it was really cool. And I got to do a magic trick in the courtyard of Dracula's castle, which is just awesome. Mate is our tour guide, and listen for it because he says something really cool. I asked to use some dirt, and I tell him I put it back because they're all about the preservation. We're talking about it. And he says, yes, but no, it's cursed. Like probably the most awesome thing he could have possibly said, because Dracula's castle, we're in Transylvania. It was awesome. So check out this last video here. I think that you'll really enjoy this. I know I do. I love it. Hi, you're here with Arcane. We're in Romania at Dracula's castle. I'm here with Mate. Mate, nice to meet you. All right, so tell everybody where we are.
Honorable guests, back there in America, they are in Romania, Transylvania, Dracula castle.
You can see too, this is a little bit later in the deployment. The guy in the blue shirt, that is my buddy Derek McBride. He's recording with a camera. Obviously, that's not the video that we uploaded because then it got to the point where multiple people were recording it. It just became a thing. Like people wanted to be a part of it, and I enjoyed it. I loved doing it. So anyway. So what we're going to do, what I'd like to do for you, Matt, is I'd like to do a little card trick. Is that okay?
Yes.
I'm going to try to blow your mind, okay? You ready? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ripple through the cards like this. I want you to tell me when to stop. Are you ready? Okay. Stop. All right, go ahead and take your card. And I would like you to look at it and show it to both cameras, please. All right, you have it?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and put it in the middle of the deck here. Now, I'm going to set down the deck. I want to try something amazing, okay? I'm going to use the dirt of Transylvania for this. All right, if you can follow me. I use a little dirt. Is that okay?
Use it, but...
I'll put it back.
Yeah, okay, but just to know, it's cursed.
It's cursed.
Yeah.
So,
Now you're cursed.
Here. Look. Watch.
Now you're a more cursed.
I just turned so that I didn't
What
want
is
to
that?
drop the dirt everywhere. Like
It is
they
a
work really hard on the preservation.
Six of diamonds?
Yeah.
Was that your card, Mate?
Yes.
Six of diamonds, Transylvania. All right, Dracula's Castle, Arcane, and we're here with Mate. Thank you. Go ahead, stop it. Thank you.
He had to look at it
How you here with
again. But yeah, absolutely. So, again, I know the whole show was about being yourself and expressing yourself, and this isn't on the audio portion of it, so I feel like people who listen are really going to miss out. But I really wanted to show that and just show like the Navy really does care. Like they care about your individualness, and I have it printed out actually in my office, the International Man of Magic, because it's an interesting talking point when you're talking with parents and when you're talking with people, to show like the Navy wrote this about me. They didn't teach me that, and it's not just me. Like that's my personal experience. Petty Officer Levesque, I know, has a friend that's still active in the Navy, and he was recently, I believe, on the national cornhole tournament, and they talked about him being in the Navy, and he's still active, and we're trying to link up. I'm going to try to bring him on the show to kind of talk about that, just to show even a little bit more, because now we're talking about something on the national stage, and he's not doing it for the Navy, but he's still active, right? So a lot of times on different cooking shows and stuff, you'll hear of people that were a culinary specialist like in the Navy. They're not anymore though. This is somebody who is still active, and he's doing something on a national scale. So I think in the next couple weeks we're trying to link up. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the E14 podcast. Check them out. I don't believe the video of our interview is up yet, and I think they do like some little fun stuff like with the video and stuff, but the audio is. It's really good. Check that out. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to all the new followers. We've gained a few recently. We're getting up there, and keep watching out for those podcasts if that's more of your thing, because I'm going to get caught up within the next couple weeks. So thank you guys so very much. Have a great weekend. Hopefully it warms up here soon so I can get out there on the golf course like Petty Officer Levesque. So thanks everybody for coming in. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you next week, Thursday, same time. Have a good one.